If you presented right now again, going back with the option of taking on VC money to run Selar or just bootstrapping all the way to where you are now, what option would you have taken?
I would still bootstrap. Interestingly, I am happy to have bootstrapped because, VC is giving you 4 years for the market to develop. We got a 5K grant from Tony Limelu. People would also say the same thing about us. Sometimes it's simple to say that like, oh my God, this person is creating a product for like customers that are not real. And you need to make that judgment. I mean, I guess deep down I knew that like these people existed. I guess maybe I didn't have a bigger validation, but I had seen some of them. I knew this could work.
At the time, you were building a business that was ahead of its time.
It's easy to say that because we worked out, but if it didn't work out, it would have just been like a building a business that customers didn't exist. But it's like now we have over like 200K creators. If I could do this all again, I really would go at my pace. I will, of course, do a lot of some things very differently, but I will probably still go at my pace.
Hello, everybody, and once again, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect show. As always, what we do here is we sit down with African entrepreneurs, have conversations about their journey as an entrepreneur, what they've learned, the businesses they've built, right, and everything in between. And today we have a very special guest in the house. I mean, I've known him for a while now. Well, just like some of the other guests, we are connecting for the very first time physically on the show today. His name is Douglas Kendyson, the founder of Selar. How are you, Douglas?
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much. This is really nice. Glad to be here.
Thank you for honoring my invitation, by the way.
Pleasure's mine.
All right, beautiful. We've planned this for the longest time.
Yes, but I mean, thank God it finally happened. It only took like 5 months.
All right, beautiful. Do you have any expectations for the show today?
Not really. I hope it's like good for your audience. I actually really do hope it's good for you. Like, I hope they'll listen for like 1 hour and they're like, oh God, that was a waste of my time.
No, of course not. Of course. I trust you to deliver. That's why you're here in the first place.
Okay, we can say so.
Let's get it.
Okay.
Beautiful. So, where does the Douglas story start?
I have been very entrepreneurial. I mean, this is an entrepreneurial show, but I would say I've been very entrepreneurial for the longest time. Since I would say just before I got into uni. My mom is very entrepreneurial. She's been a businesswoman, selling, buying, doing all the things, venturing in various businesses. And I think I do get some of that from her. Mm-hmm. But I think it probably would start from just early uni, like when I got to uni, and then I used to fix computers. Then I moved from that to software engineering. And then I used to work. I did a lot of freelance work. And then when I graduated, I got employed, started working for startups, and did that from 2016 till 2021 when I went full-time at Selar. Selar did start in between all of that. So I started in 2016 too. But I have been I've always been moving. I've always been busy. I've always been doing stuff.
Beautiful. So would you say you're a born entrepreneur, or do you think that maybe it's circumstances and things around you brought out the entrepreneur in you?
It's a very interesting question that I've never really thought of, because considering my mom is an entrepreneur, in spirit and in truth, I would say there's probably a lot of that in my genes. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of it is just me putting in the work and doing stuff and being very active. Yeah.
What was that journey learning about software engineering while you're at school?
So I used to fix laptops to my 100 level.
Did you learn how to fix laptops?
So I used to crash my laptops at home, and then I obviously fixed.
That's a really big problem. I don't.
No.
Crashing my laptop.
No, I mean, it was mostly software crashes, not physical crashes. Okay. But I used to play with the desktop that we had at home a lot. Mm-hmm. And my mom actually got me a laptop in my SS3 as my birthday present. It was really some big surprise. I think it's one of my best surprises till date. Yeah. And I really used that laptop to play. And that experience sort of taught me a lot of things. Then when I got to 100 level, I realized that people were willing to pay for the knowledge I had from all the things I had been playing with. Yeah. And so I started charging people a lot of money. I used to go to the computer village at the time, because I just go to Alta sometimes to buy things, come back, resell, all of these things. Then I wanted to learn how to do software engineering. I actually wanted to learn how to build a website. I wanted to build an OLX website. I had this idea that an OLX website would be a hit in CU. And then I went to meet someone in his final year, my friend, still good friend till now, Raymond, to teach me. And I mean, I found him in the process of looking for somebody. And I learned how to code, and then I just stopped fixing laptops. I was very lucky because I learned how to code in August, because then the new semester starts in September. And by December, I got a job from another student that ran an agency, and as I started getting paid, I built some project for him, and I was working on started getting paid from there, and I just never went back to fixing computers.
So beautiful. So what was that journey like? Doing that thing, freelancing as a software engineer to getting your first like paid employment?
So I was freelancing from, I guess that was my 300 level. So I was freelancing from 300 level till I graduated. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Because I got some good opportunities. I actually got to make a website for Kobams. I made a website for them. I did a lot of like freelance projects. 300 level, the second semester, my results tanked. It was so bad. But like, I recovered eventually. By the time I was in final year, I was making a lot of final year projects. Because I could code, even though I was doing civil engineering. In final year, I was building a product it was like Uber Eats for CU. They were called Mobile Waiter. So we needed to use a payment gateway. So we integrated Paystack at the time. And that was how I first got in contact with Paystack. Before then, I'd used Vogue Pay for like a lot of my products. I don't know if you remember Vogue Pay. So by the time I graduated, I kind of was in contact with Paystack's team, specifically Selar, because I used to reach out to them to give like feedback. Oh, I'm using this in school, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw that they had an opening, and he was like, okay, come to the office and let's speak. And then I went to the office and he offered me the job on the spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was how my employment career started. But that was really nice.
Lagos.
Yes, and I just stayed in Lagos, yes.
So what was life at Paystack like?
Really good. That was my first working experience. And I think one thing I'm very grateful for that I think is the fact that was my first working experience. I think when it comes to where people work, your first time is very important. I think your first time with a lot of things are very important, just because it sets the pace and it sets your expectations for how other places should be or how other things should work. I think I'm happy that they were my first, because there was a very strong sense of people that were very hardworking, were very kind, and were very smart. And I'm happy those are things that like I got to experience in my very first job. Because it lets you just know that, oh, work can be good. And I think that's one of the things but it was a really good experience. I was working my ass off there. Like and I kid you not, I was probably sleeping at the office many times, but I was like giving them maybe like 16, 18 hours a day. But like I was happy, like they were paying me well for the time, and I was just happy to work. My skills are being used. And Paystack was a product that was really taking off. So like you could see the impact of the work that you were doing very early on. Yeah, but that was a really very good time.
I hear a lot of Paystack employees don't leave. What are they doing in that company? They're skipping them.
I mean, I was probably just a very insane person because I left by like 11 months because I was like, I want to go. But yeah, people don't leave there. They're there forever. And that's good. And I think that's a testament to like the kind of leadership and the kind of culture they have there. Yes.
Beautiful. So what's the journey like after Paystack? After Paystack, what happened next?
After Paystack, I started working at Flutterway, building the Butter product. I rebuilt the Butter product.
The ideal life. Paystack, Flutterway.
No, I mean, that was also just good experience too. I think I got to work with Jimmy personally, directly. I've been very privileged to work with other founders directly, and I think working with Jimmy was a very big eye-opener for me. I think he's very smart, but I think one of the qualities of Jimmy that I really love most is just his ability to keep pushing.
Yeah.
While I worked at Flutterway, I think I saw a lot of like things that broke on some other companies, and like, you know, that nigga was like, let's move. Let's keep it pushing. And I think that has stuck with me a lot. Like, I feel like if Flutterwave can still be standing despite all the things that the press has carried around, all of those things, I think that's just a testament of just someone's tenacity and like perseverance. And I think that has stuck with me. And then I think I quit Flutterwave.
How long were you in this Flutterwave for?
10 months.
Oh.
I was young. So let's say I was like 19 at Paystack. I think then I was like 20 at Flutterwave. I mean, I was just young and moving mad.
Yeah.
I was jobless for like maybe like a month or two. Then I got a part-time gig somewhere. And then I got another job that took me to the UAE. And I was there for 2 years.
Oh, the time.
I was like 21, I think.
Traveling to new countries, God.
Yeah, that was my first time.
How did you navigate that?
I just did it. That was just it. I was just, let's go. I've always been mildly independent, and I think that has helped. But yeah, the opportunity just came, and so I was in Lagos. I think I started the job in October, and by December I moved. And I was in the UAE for like 2 years, or 2.5 years maybe, because I moved in 2018. I was there for 2019, 2020. And I think by like March 2021, I got back to Lagos.
2020, then 2021, you got back.
Yes, 2021, I got back to
So
Lagos.
where does the Selar story start?
Oh, it starts in Paystack. It starts in 2016.
Okay.
So while I was there, I kind of saw that a lot of some people needed like just a simple way to sell products, like maybe like ebooks, simple things. And so I reached out to a couple of friends of mine, and then we sort of built an MVP in like a couple of weeks, and that was really it. We got some of our friends from uni, like we had a friend, Muiwa. He was one of the first people to use our product. He saw selling some songs on it. Those are one of our first set of users, and I sort of kept the product going from that time till I guess a lot of when it took off in 2020.
Beautiful. I mean, so you are not even profitable at the time. How did you keep pushing it?
The good thing about Selar, and I think, is just the fact that like it never really cost me money. It cost my time and my energy and my joy.
You already had this skill?
Yes, I already had the skill. I was writing most of the code.
Yeah.
Well, majority all of the code. And so from 2016 to like 2020, a lot of the work was just coding, and I was just writing code, speaking to customers, getting feedback, reiterating. And that was majority of major work. We were on a very cheap hosting for the longest time. Then we moved to AWS, but then we had a credits, and we were on credits for roughly like 4 years or 3 years straight. So it barely cost me much. And then in 2018, just even before I took the trip to the UAE and moved, we got a 5K grant from Tony Limelu.
Oh.
Yeah, so
How did that?
So the funny thing about that grant, and I think and it was funny because we didn't get into the batch. We never got into the batch for that year. It just happened that like, so we got rejected, but it just happened that like, they had a donor that wanted to just give extra money. So we were like on a supplementary list.
Oh.
And then we got the money, they sent us it was like 2 million at the time or something. And that money was there till like 2020, because like,
You didn't touch it.
I was barely touching it because there was not that much to spend on. I think I had somebody early on that time to do some work. Then I fired them because like the work wasn't just good for us that much. And I think that work wasn't going anywhere and I also wasn't, managing them was not easy. So I was just like, let that stop. So just kept on writing code and keeping it pushing for the longest time.
Awesome. So product took off in 2020.
Yeah.
This will literally change the trajectory of your life from then.
I guess you can say that, yes.
So what was 2020 the year like? Because I guess you were still working. Yeah.
I was still working.
Yeah.
I know COVID was a big deal, but I don't think it was that big of a deal for me in my head at the time it was happening. Because I was in Dubai for like a year, and then I moved to Abu Dhabi. So for all of COVID, I was in Abu Dhabi. And I was already like always working from my house. Yeah. So very little changed for me. I wasn't the going out person. So I think, yes, maybe I couldn't go out a couple of times. And then even when we could go out, it was very like restricted, wear a mask, all of those things. But I don't think of COVID as a very transformative period for me. Like, I don't think of that as like, it wasn't that. I was just in my room working, but 2020 was the year that I sort of like said, oh, I want to try to give this a little push. And I think in the year prior, I'd worked, the company that moved me to the UAE, I was a software engineer, but I'd worked a lot with the marketing team. I'd helped them do a bunch of things. I've always been a very curious employee, and I was very curious. I was putting my efforts everywhere. And so I feel like I'd picked up a couple of marketing skills that I wanted to implement at Selar, and that's what I wanted 2020 to be. So 2020, I was writing a lot of code still while trying to push on the social media front. Yeah. And I think that was, and I was also sending like a ton of cold DMs to like create a...
Were you on the social media?
Yes. I was sending like a ton of cold DMs, sending everything. And yeah, and I think we got some high-tech clients, and that really just helped a lot, and it was good.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, 2020 is the year a lot of people embrace like the digital create space.
Yeah.
And that really took off. So, I mean, did you get to a point where you couldn't handle everything by yourself anymore?
Oh, yeah. I think October 2020, I think I wanted to die. I was just like, because I was managing a full-time job at the time, and that was taking a lot of my time because they were demanding from me. And Selar was demanding a lot from me because I was writing code, I was replying people on social media, I was replying emails, I was talking to customers and everything, and it was a lot. But I think, and at the end of the year, I think I also just realized that like, okay, I might need to, like, we're taking off a little, but it was still a fear of like, oh, is this big enough? Can I really quit my job for this? But I had stuck some savings at the time, and I was like, okay, you know what, we'll try. And if it doesn't work, which I can always go back to being gainfully employed. So trust her.
Beautiful. So what's the most common mistake you see people who are trying to build startups make?
It's to say that like, oh my God, someone is building a product for customers that don't exist or for people that don't exist. But I feel like that's a very interesting comment because people would also say the same thing about us.
Yeah.
But it's like now we have over like 200K creators, and it's like, I think the point I'm just trying to make is sometimes it's able to say that like, oh my God, this person is creating a product for like customers that are not real, and you need to make that judgment. But I mean, I guess deep down I knew that like these people existed. I've seen it. I'd seen some of them at Paystacks. I've seen some of them reach out to Paystack. I guess maybe I didn't have a bigger validation, but I had seen some of them. I knew this could work, yeah. But I guess at the end of the day, just believe whatever you want to do, and then just keep it pushing till it might work or it might not work.
At the time, you were building a business that was ahead of its time. Yeah.
It's easy to say that because we worked out, but if it didn't work out, it would have just been like a building a business that customers didn't exist. It's easy to say you're ahead of your time.
Of course, there's a little bit of that.
Maybe with that, because sometimes some things take a while, but that's the difference between if you're on the VC track and you don't have time.
Yeah.
I think I could do this because I had time. I could spend 4 years doing this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But not a lot of people have time. When you take 100K, like immediately you have to do something or else they're like screaming at you. I think some markets just need a lot to develop. And are you going to be patient for it or are you not? Because the thing is, if you come in when it's saturated or if it's already developed, somebody already has taken it.
Someone has taken the...
Yeah, so maybe that.
Okay. Also, yeah, I mean, it took you like 4 years to get Selar to where like a lot of people noticed it, start using it, and all of that. If you are presented right now again, going back with the option of taking on VC money to run Selar or just bootstrapping all the way to where you are now, what option would you have taken?
I would still bootstrap, interestingly. This is weird because I think I thought about this question a while ago and I was like, damn, I'd have taken VC money. Maybe like 2 years ago, I'd have said I would have taken VC money. But right now, I am happy to have bootstrapped because VC is giving you 4 years to get your shit to like maybe for the market to develop. And don't get me wrong, maybe we could have, there was a lot with the markets that changed in 4 years. I think COVID is a very big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people were finally comfortable being online and relying on everything online. And I don't know if VC money would have changed. VC money is not going to create a pandemic.
Yeah, true.
Or create like a whole new user behavior at the end of the day. So some things just need the market to develop and find. Because like by 2020, because I knew people that were selling digital products in 2016, but there were very few. By 2020, there were still few, but they were just a little more.
Yeah.
And now it's like every corner you turn, you see them. If I could do this all again, I really would go at my pace. Of course, do a lot of some things very differently.
So when you start expanding, when I mean expanding, I mean now you're focusing on this full time. This wasn't just you anymore. You had to bring in team members, all of that. What considerations did you put in place before you let anybody work with you?
Oh, I had a lot of bad employees at the beginning, so I don't think there was a lot. There's probably not that many considerations. I had a lot of bad employees, or I had a lot of people that I couldn't manage or get good work out of them. Maybe I shouldn't say bad employees. I'd say people that I couldn't get good work out of them. Especially also because at the beginning, and even till now, my budget I can't compete with like VC people budgets for employees. What I realized, when you're not paying with your money, you're paying with your time, you should be aware of where you want to make that trade-off. You're paying very little, you're probably going to pay a lot with your time in like supervision, rewriting, reiterating whatever work that you've asked somebody to do. And it's like, then you probably have to raise the money up a bit if you want to get someone maybe more experience and you want to spend less time reviewing and everything. So those things matter a lot. And you should be and I think there's also another thing, which is not a unique thought to me, but it's that idea that like you should be able to at least do some of the function that you're hiring somebody to do. Just because it helps you have a sense of it when they're doing rubbish. I also can help you manage them very well. I think with every job that I employ people to do for the first, I I know how to do it. And I think the one place that I really didn't know how to do work, that I struggled with hiring, was accounting. That's probably been my most painful hiring experience.
That do you call your most painful, by the way?
I had somebody that was playing with me. As I said, I was just playing with me, like playing with and it's not even money loss. It's like they were just incompetent, and it was stressful. And I also didn't know how to go about getting the job done. So I was dependent on them, but I was also blind. So it made it very, very hard compared to like every other job, whether it's like social media and I know what to do, email marketing, I know what to do, software engineering, I know what to do. But accounting was a chore. So even eventually when I found someone that was great, thank God to my latest accountant, she was very smart. Like she knows everything. And she's giving me enough peace of mind. So yeah.
Beautiful. So for entrepreneurs, especially like techies trying to build products and all of that, do you think it's important to learn how to do sales and marketing?
Definitely. Before Milton came on board, I ran the marketing for Selar. I did everything. It is very important. Like you don't need to know too much, but you should know a little. There's some expectations I don't have of Milton, and that's because I am very abreast of how marketing works. I've worked in a marketing team before. I know what is feasible, what is sensible to ask for. So I'm not just going to be asking to make something out of thin air. And that's a very big part of like marketing and I guess a founder relationship, because it helps when you're not asking for dumb things.
True.
It really does help. I guess you can tell us. Let's stick to things that are realistic. Let's stick to things that we can, like things like needles that you can move. And yeah, so that's, I guess, why it's very important. Because yes, I don't do any marketing job today, but I'm not asking them to do impossible things. Yeah.
For others moving the needle into you, I mean, you guys use this word a lot, right?
That's Milton. That's not Milton.
Milton, isn't it?
That's Milton's word.
Yeah.
So actually, you should ask him what that means, because that's not my word. That's Milton's word. I don't think I can answer that question.
Well, I mean, there's something in mind when you say moving the needle.
Okay, I would say results. You can do a lot of things, but how many of them bring results at the end of the day? So yeah, that's how I would say.
Beautiful. Where did Milton come in all of this?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the Milton story. So we met. I can't remember how we met. Yeah. So he was using Selar at the time, I believe. I think he was a Selar user. And we happened to be neighbors because at the time I used to live at Prime Water, he used to live at Prime Water too. And we started talking, and I think around the time too, I was like, oh, I need more help with this. And he was very passionate about the work. And I was like, do you want to do it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, let's go. Like with a lot of hires, I don't spend too much time. Like it's like, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work.
How did you have customer support? You know, with a platform like Selar growing and all of that, you're having, you celebrated over 1 million customers very recently, and I'm sure you've shot over the number right now. How did you hack responding to customers and all of that and making sure that for the most part, many of them are satisfied?
Right now, I don't think we're doing a good job at that. Honest truth, we're not. But before, so I guess the backstory is at Paystack, I was hired for technical support. I was building like a lot of integration, and I was doing technical support, but I was so good at it and interacting with customers and making them happy that I switched from technical to also include normal support. And that's how I was working a lot of long hours because I was helping a lot of people. And then when I got to Flutterwave, then after like rebuilding Bata, I think towards the tail end of my time there, I started managing a team of like 12 people or like 15 people of support. And so I have a big wealth of experience and support, I guess, in that way. But then at the end of the day, when I was doing support, which was literally 3 years ago or 4 years ago at this point, I just cared and I was willing to help people. And I think with support, those are the things that really matter. Interestingly, we had a session this week about like, what does customer obsession look like? Yeah. And I think some of the things I shared with the team would probably be like empathy, will be passion, will be understanding. Like it's good to have a very rich wealth of knowledge. It really helps when it comes to support. Like when you don't understand it, when the customer feels misunderstood, there's nothing that irritates them like that. And then we go to like the timely responses, and all of these different things come together to like make support good. And I think a couple of other things that I'm missing.
Beautiful. What does the term skill mean to you?
Very big. Even with Selar too, I'm very glad that we've sort of grown fast in a way, but also just very incrementally. And we're doing our best to handle as much scale as comes, but like it's going.
Beautiful. So you usually move from like 0 users to over 1 million. What was that journey like?
Honestly, I think I was really excited when I saw 1 million users registered on our system. Because it's just, as a developer, that's a very exciting feeling. Because as a developer, you build a lot of applications. You have user tables in the applications. And like, you never think that 1 million people are going to be on the users table. There's something about that. I don't know if other developers get what I mean, but it's like, there's something about knowing that like 1 million people eventually go to this users table and it's like, whoa, that's a lot of people. But yeah, but that was a very warm and exciting time or exciting feeling, just because we've been through like a lot of ups and downs with this product. And I think it's also just interesting because like sometimes I look at some people's profile and I realize we didn't have 50K users in 2020. So like the 950K came in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And growth is so weird because it's not like the work in the first 4 years didn't matter. A lot of that work is why we are here today, but it's like so much of that growth has just happened in the last 3 years. And it's both humbling and that's something I'm very grateful for. I think it took us maybe like 2 years to do 500K and then the other 500K, 2 or 3 years to do 500K, and then the other 500K in like 12 months. And I mean, the hope is that we double again and double more. So we'll see.
So you from like just one person building your products. So like getting some more people on board in your team, and now you're managing like a bunch of talent at Selar, right? What's your approach to leadership right now?
So leadership has been something that I've always cared about. I think from the moment I started managing people at Flutterwave, I was very aware of leadership. I've always cared that the people that work under me are happy. They're feeling fulfilled. And so leadership is something that has always been at the back of my mind. Yeah. I think right now is even where I am. I think this year has probably just been the year I've been more invested in like leading this team very well and making sure that the people are happy, they feel very fulfilled, they feel very heard, they feel like the work they're doing is impactful, they see the output of the work that they're putting in. And I think for me, kindness probably leads my leadership a lot. That's probably like one thing I hold very seriously. I think I love people that are kind. And it's very important to me that like everybody that works in my company is kind, they feel kindness, they feel cared for. And yeah, that's probably some of the ways in which I approach leadership here.
What drives you? I mean, you're doing awesome things and you're still going. You just said 1 million the other time, right? But you're still going, you just stop.
If I had to answer that question, I would say people. Yeah. I love to make an impact with the people that I work with. Right now, my goal for everybody that works at Selar is that like they are so financially stable, especially just in a country like this where a lot of things are very up and down. I think people drive me the most, actually. It's very important to me that like the people are cared for. They have options, they have good things. I think that also drives me too, even in terms of customers. I think that was the thing that drove me most in keeping me going with Selar all those years. I was in direct communication with a lot of customers, and I used to really understand them so deeply, and I was very moved to like help them achieve what they wanted to achieve. So people probably will be what drives me, actually.
That's like very beautiful. What's the most important financial advice you've ever received?
Boss told me that I shouldn't raise money. But I mean, it's the boss that has raised money, so I think that was nice.
The reason I gave you?
I think I was just saying that I was not really looking to raise money. I was like, oh, you probably also shouldn't. It's fine. Just if you can, just keep it going. But I think financial advice would probably also just be keep your expenses low. I think I'm very aware of that. Yeah. I'm very aware of like keeping my expenses low.
What's your approach to savings and investments? How do you manage money?
It used to be make more money.
Well, you will learn.
It is make more money. Yeah, I think this year I am now finally cutting down my personal expenses. So interestingly, like I think with me, company money I've never been one to play with company money. Yeah. That's just, I think, and I don't know where I got that from. I think I got it from my mom. My mom did businesses and she was very strict financially. Yeah. So when it comes to business money, I've never really touched it. So I think I was very fortunate that like when I quit my job to go full time, Selar didn't pay me for like the next 1 year plus or two until I depleted my savings completely. Yeah. Then I was like started taking something small from Selar again and all of that. Like I think with my personal money, I move funny, but with work money, I think we've been able to stash, and that's good.
Beautiful. Well, what are some other like projects you have outside work?
Not much, actually. I don't do that anymore. I don't have the bandwidth. I have a worship group, but like it's like a worship group that we do. Like it was meant to be once a quarter, but we've not had anyone this year. But there's one on Sunday. I don't really have a lot of business endeavors like outside of Selar right now because I can't take it. I really can't. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. So like Selar is taking a lot of my energy right now. So it's hard to do more than this. And I think I used to freelance a lot when I started working at Paystack.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I moved to Flutterwave, I was like, no, I'm not doing any freelance work again. Like I wanna just focus on my job because like it was a lot. And I don't think I do very well with like very spread attention. I mean, I'm great at multitasking because when I was freelancing, I can be doing like 5 projects at the same time. But at some point, you just realize that like you can focus your energy in one place and hopefully it was done out well. And I mean, not everybody has that luxury. If I'm being honest, like Selar is able to pay my bills and like pay me a salary that I can live with, and I think that's good. But I guess for people that don't have that luxury, they can't afford to just focus on one thing. But like if you can't focus on one thing, I'm not doing 3 things. I'm more at the point where I want to enjoy the work that I'm doing. And doing 5 things cannot help you enjoy that.
What has been your proudest entrepreneurial moment since you ventured into entrepreneurship?
Oh,
I know there are a lot of moments. So you're trying to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's been quite a lot. Like money milestones are always big for me. I'm always grateful for the milestones. So the time we did 100 million for the first time, the time we did like $1 billion for the first time, when we did 2 billion, when we did 4 billion last year. I think those moments really stand out for me.
Just to clarify, you're saying billion. You were saying something like millions. So 4 billion.
Well, like money moments always stand out for me. They always mean a lot to me because it's like so many people are trusting us. Like the 1 million milestone of like 1 million users registered also means a lot to me because like some people actually trust our product. I think that's good. And it just means people are selling like a lot with our product. I think that's really perfect.
What was the feeling like the first time ever you give your staff a raise?
Oh, actually, I have a people thing. So one of my favorite activities is paying salary.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think, and I really like it because like salary for me means we have money to pay people's salary. And then so whenever I'm going to the Bento dashboard to like do something, I'm like, yay, let's do it. So I think that's one of my favorite activities, paying people. Giving people like a raise definitely also really made me very happy. I know how money made me very happy as an employee. Like money always moved me. It always moved me. So like, I'm very happy to give it out. I think this year, also last year we paid 13th and 14th month salary. That was very exciting for me actually. The people were happy. And then this year we're doing a profit share where it's like at the end of the year, we're gonna share like profit that we got paid and it's like a decent amount of money. And so that's along with the 13th month. And it's like, these are the kind of things that I'm excited about actually, because I like seeing the people happy. I think, and it's good that like, this is money that we made together. There are
people that are watching this right now, they're trying to build products, do startup, and all of that. What are the maybe top 3 counsels you can give them?
People will get you far than your products will probably get you far.
You have to demystify that.
So it sounds like make connections. Like it's not just like connections in the Nigerian connections way, but it's like as a business, your customers are people. Everything is like people related. So try to find people that would help you advance. That could be a sugar daddy. That could be.
I'm not more.
That could be a sugar daddy. That could be a mentor from work. Like if you're building a business, get all the help that you can get. Because talk to other people that you can talk to, get as many ideas as you can, get as many perspectives as you can. And I mean, that's a very tricky advice because people can give you a lot of advice that will turn your head upside down. Because like I remember when we were pitching to somebody and then they were like, in 2017, and they were like, digital products can't work. Like, go and turn this to a Shopify or like a Shopify product, like for fiscal people. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And that person obviously didn't rate us, but eventually, like I have the last laugh. So talk to everybody is not, but it's like, leverage relationships. I think it's probably the better way to say connections. Try to leverage as much relationships as you can get, because that will get you farther than being good at your job or being good at your work. Make that connection.
Somebody puts in a word or two for you.
Do the connects. Do as much as you can, because that will get you farther a lot. I think that probably will be one thing. And while I say that first, then the next thing is let your product be fucking good. Let it be good. Let it be without a doubt good as much as you can. But I mean, don't spend too much time and then take 5 years to release a product, but let the product be good at least. So that when the connections come, it can match. And I guess be a nice person. People think being a bitch is really the only way to run a business. But no, actually, you can be a nice person. You don't need to be a nasty soul. You don't need to be a bitch. You can actually run a successful business while being kind, while being nice, while being thoughtful. I think those things are not mutually exclusive of running a good business.
Beautiful. What would you like to be remembered for 100 years from now?
Oh my God. That was fun. I want people to think of me as, that was fun, but I was very smart and I was very hardworking. I don't know if people think of me as hardworking. I don't know if people think of me as smart, but good luck to them.
You have proof of concept now.
I mean, good luck to them. But I think I'd love to remember it as, not much, just smart and hardworking, actually. And I was, for the people that know me in the non-work context, I think I want people to think of me as like fun and that I really cared. I want people to know that I really cared, because in a lot that I do, I really try to put a lot of people first. I try to keep people in mind. And I think first that I really cared, and I did things in my part to make sure that people were cared for. And then I was really smart and I was really hardworking. So maybe that.
Finally, this is how I like to end the podcast these days. Because now people are watching now. And listen, Douglas has the perfect life. From CU to Paystack to Featherwave to the company in...
Oh my God, those are the most stressful period of my life.
In UAE, coming back, building Selar. Selar is where it is right now. What are you still trying to figure out in your life right now?
A lot. Actually, a lot. I'm thinking a lot about like what good leadership is, what good feedback is. So like, even something like somebody makes a mistake, and I'm the kind of person, like, I like to cut with my words. And that's like me in my personal life. But like, I am not cutting people anymore because I don't want to cut people. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be, while I can be very nice, I can be very mean. But I think for me, I'm thinking a lot about like, what does good leadership look like? I want people in this company to feel like, I think I was watching a show with my partner the other day, just I think 2 days ago. And like, I think this guy, it was selling Manhattan or something. And this guy said something like, he wants his employees to take care of the company, knowing that the company will take care of them. And I think that's literally how I want my company to be. I want everybody to be like, their heads down, but they also just know that like, you're working for a company that has your back fully. Yeah. That's how I've always thought about work, because I always thought about people, because I'm doing my best to take care of everybody. And I'm hoping that people are also just very thoughtful in that way too, for like the work that they do. But I'm thinking a lot about leadership. I'm thinking a lot about making sure that people that actually work at Selar actually come out of the other side just very well to do.
Yeah, beautiful. This interview, this episode has been very fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on. Any final word for our viewers before we take it away?
No, thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I haven't done an interview like this in a really long time. Oh. And I'm very happy.
How can people connect with you, Selar, and all of that?
Twitter, even though I don't really tweet there. Instagram, but like Twitter's probably the best way to reach me. Is it the best way? Like maybe you'll put the response on Twitter or LinkedIn maybe. Yeah. So Douglas Kendyson, Twitter, LinkedIn. Twitter, it's Kendyson D. It's my username. I think those are great channels to reach me. And LinkedIn, maybe LinkedIn, probably professionally. I'm not a big Twitter.
You're not throwing a Selar ad?
Oh, please. If you're selling a digital product, please use us. I think Selar's the best product that you can use to sell your digital products, like any kind, ebooks, courses, trainings, everything. And just have used Selar. So he's one of our very old customers, old creators.
I've been texting you guys since 2020.
Yeah, so that's a long time ago. So but thanks a lot for having me. And this was really nice.
Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and staying at the end to this point. Continue to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please subscribe to Don's YouTube and everywhere you get podcasts. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye.